Hello, everybody. So I'm going to try something. There's been things coming up. Religion came up yesterday on my live, and religion came up today in my class, and the suppression of the feminine has been coming up, the release of the suppression of the feminine. And something just occurred right now that I'm kind of curious about. So, lies and truth. We were taught not to lie, and I was taught not to lie from my parents. Not that I'm saying that lying is a good thing to do, okay? What I'm trying to do is feel into the concept of a lie, the concept of truth. We are told to, in the energetic community, to speak our truth. We learn to lie when we don't want to get in trouble. Out of fear. It's fear-based that we lie. And now I'm kind of wondering how religion plays into that as well. I just caught myself lying. And as I was contemplating, I was like, ooh, what is this all about? That I'm lying, because it's like not something I do anymore. I haven't done it in a while. I'm all about truth, right? So let me see what's coming up when I ask about those things. So I'm just going to tap in. Before I came on, I was cleansing the space with my brass bowl and calling in the ascended masters, angelics, and star beings, calling in my family of light to clear the space, calling in my highest aspect, my superconscious, my I am presence and essence now. Taking a deep breath. I have a question about lies and truth, or lying. When the human lies. I also have regarding religion. Something's coming up to be released or clarified. So what is truth? What is that which is true? Your heart is your compass, your direction, your gauge on what is true. You can feel what is true from this space, the heart space. There are many truths. There are many beliefs and religious constructs in the place where you are. Some beliefs you will feel as true. Others, your inner guidance will let you know when it does not resonate with the heart. Lying What is lying? Lying is a result of fear, of persecution, physical, mental, emotional persecution. There are lifetimes of this on this planet. The fear of being found out, the fear of being reprimanded, the fear of punishment. Guilt. Take a deep breath. Releasing guilt at this time. Unworthiness. The idea of not being worthy to participate, to have sustenance, to be in a location freely. These are all chains and shackles put on the human over lifetimes. Religion has many beliefs and guidelines, many that are rigid, just as the governments of your planet have many guidelines and beliefs that are rigid. the guidelines and beliefs that are put on you as humans are not all true. This is also true of those put on by religious doctrines. There are lies within truths that are given to humanity. There are freedoms that are shown that you have, but are still under shackles, that are slowly in timing to be released. You are always free and you are always sovereign. But yes, lies exist out of fear of the systems that are lived in. Closer looks at these systems will show where freedoms are relinquished, where there is an illusion of freeness, and yet not. The body knows this, the heart senses this, the children sense this within their school constructs. They feel contained. They feel pressured. They are put on a time schedule. Adults feel this in their workday. The time schedule, the time constraints, the direction to be here or there under someone else's time frame when working in a building office. This has lessened with the new energies of the choice to work from home and the choice to school or unschool from home. The guilt that you feel when you feel the need to lie, the push to lie, is not real. Just as fear is not real. These type of reactions are survival based. Guilt comes from religion and comes from family constructs of being punished by those in the family. A place where, as a child, when you just wanted to be you, you were reprimanded. No, it's not time to do that right now. No, you can't be like that right now. No, that isn't real. No, you have to do this. You have to do that. Before you can enjoy yourself, this must happen. This has all been learned from the beginning. From you, from your parents, from their parents, lineages, lifetimes. Guilt does not have to follow a lie. What do you feel in your heart is true? Was there anyone harmed by what you chose to do for yourself? Was anybody harmed? What was your intent behind the act that you did? Was it malicious? This one knows of the laws in this world, the restraints, the government restraints. This one knows of certain rules that one is reprimanded over, that there are common laws that are that which are to be observed, and that the other so-called laws are not actually true. These are simple common laws, and they do follow what would be called God guidance or God law of not harming another person, not stealing from another person. It all comes back to intent and freedom. You are free. You are sovereign beings, and you have been told otherwise. So, turn to the heart. Ask what your intent is or was by lying. What occurred? And let yourself off the hook if you are of pure intent. Were you displaying a freedom that is of divine law? I'm kind of asking about human law. Not kind of, I am asking. Because in religion, and this is in the scriptures, and this is a tough one because the scriptures are not whole. They are wonderful scriptures, but there are missing parts, and it is well known that there are missing parts to the scriptures, and that there were parts found and have still not been administered in. So I'm kind of asking a question about that particular scripture. Hold on just a minute. The scripture that has to do with the one known as Yeshua, Jesus, in relation to taxation, is what the scripture was about. The quote in the scripture, the Bible that I have read, which was the King James Version, had to do something with, hold on, give me a minute here. Giving God's things to God and Caesar's things to Caesar. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but that's what I'm remembering. Give Caesar's things to Caesar and God's thing to God. God's things to God. I'm curious, was this just something put in by the council that came together to create the Bible? Or was this something that was actually quoted by ones that overheard Jesus? So what I am understanding, what I'm getting an impression of, is that during that time, that certain subjects would come up with Yeshua and those that surrounded him or came to hear him. Yes, there were people, often in the crowds, that would test him. I'm remembering now. There were people that would test him and see if Yeshua would speak out or oppose the government that was there at the time, the Romans. They would often test him and ask him different questions, or they would even send him people who they would pay off to lie about an ailment and then tell others that they were not healed, to create confusion, to create a disturbance in the balance that Jesus was bringing forth to the crowds and masses that were coming to hear him speak. So was this actually said by him? Yeshua, was this said by you? The responses were always of a neutral tone in order to remain kind of in a safe zone with those powers, those government powers. The government powers were worried about uprisings. And as long as there was a neutral tone kept with these subjects, then there was more freedom to be able to speak to more people in certain areas. This was also done in regards to the feminine. Okay, so now I'm getting an impression of, because in the Bible it speaks of the 12 disciples, the men that followed Jesus on the way, the path of the way. And there were female counterparts to also those 12. And there were many, many more than 12 that came and were, I don't know if trained is the right word, but were allowed to come along to administer what was needed to those who were in poverty, who needed healing, food, different types of assistance for sustainability. So what I'm getting the sense of is that that bit of information was left out. It was doctored up in the Bible, I guess. I don't know if that's the right term to use. There are parts that are not entirely there, or parts that are true, but then tweaked a little bit because it was a council that came together in Rome, realizing that there was containment needed after the passing of Jesus. Okay, so that's basically the impression. That's kind of where I'm going to leave it, is that this government influence that was back then, that has been through the ages, the oppression put on other humans, the compression, the pushing down, this was done through many things. This was even done through different torturous ways over time. Okay, so that's what I'm receiving. That it's not necessarily true. The quote is not necessarily true. But it is a neutral stance for the times that was lived in then, and some sort of right now, although that has been shifting too. Okay, yeah. So 2019, the Great Pause, as I like to refer to it, there were truths that came about that were seen by the people during that time. There were falsities given by the government at that time. I'm not speaking about whether it was true or not. Those who had health issues, that was very true for them. Those who did not have health issues, that was very true for them. What was needed at the time medically, that was true for those people who actually had something medically happening with them. That was true. Anything that was happening for those that were healthy, and different things needed to be administered or taken when they were actually in a healthy state, that information was false. that has more to do with we have this idea that we have to prep, that we have to get ready. I don't know if that's the right word. This idea of, I come back to, I don't even know if that's the right term. If it's not broke, don't fix it. If you're healthy and you feel healthy, you are healthy. That's what I'll say. That's the impression that I'm getting. If you're not feeling healthy, if something hurts, take those steps to assist with that something. So that has to do with staying in the present moment. Be in the present moment. Ask your body what is needed at this time and what is the intent behind it. Is it fear-based? That will be a gauge for you. Your heart is a gauge. It is a compass and a direction for you to follow. Okay. Wow. I'm a little teary-eyed. That hasn't happened before, where I've had, that was a release, guys. That was such a release. On so many different levels. I thought I was going to go live. I was kind of afraid to go live, so this is recorded. And because I wasn't sure what would come up. So yeah, I had a little fear of going live on this subject matter. But I'm going to post it. It's posted because you're watching it now. Religion has been coming up. Other things have been coming up. So I might go live now. I'm going to feel into that. I was going to talk a little bit about my my JW experience, Jehovah's Witness, and see if anything needed to be cleared from that. And I don't know if it's necessary or not. So I will feel into that. Thank you for joining me. I am live 11:11 Pacific time most days. I was doing daily. I am in a class right now that has to do with, it was the sacred womb, the rise of the divine feminine and masculine, and this all has to do with the energy of, not gender. So if you like those subjects, show up 11:11 Pacific time. I will try and let people know when I will not be there 11:11 Pacific time. This is one of those days because I have another say webinar class that is arising at this time. There's a lot of energies coming in and I'm working with them in different areas and I'm bringing that to my YouTube channel. So you might be feeling them. There's a lot of subjects that come up and there's some oracle cards that are utilized to bring in the messages that are happening at this time. So this was pretty special. I feel like I also connected with the energy of Yeshua, which I've never done before. And it was more of like an impression I was getting. So we're working on our abilities, the psychic abilities that we've had since we were born. We came in here with them, the clairsenses. There are different ways that I'm just helping you tune in and start to acknowledge those clairsenses. So it's a pleasure to connect with you. I am love. Pleased to meet you. And as always, I am, we are one. One voice, one heart, one breath. I love you. Enjoy the rest of your day.